Congresswoman Katie Hill delivered a fiery farewell speech today as she resigns from Congress amid an ethics probe and a potentially inappropriate relationship with a male congressional staffer. The freshman Democrat also faced controversy after nude photos resurfaced, revealing a relationship with her female campaign aide. And today she blasted a so-called double standard that she says forced her out of office while taking aim, she did, at President Trump.
Yet a man who brags about his sexual predation, who's had dozens of women come forward to accuse him of sexual assault, who pushes policies that are uniquely harmful to women, and who has filled the courts with judges who proudly rule to deprive women of the most fundamental right to control their own bodies, sits in the highest office of the land. As my final act, I voted to move forward with the impeachment of Donald Trump on behalf of the women of the United States of America.
Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz joins me now. Congressman, thank you. It's good to have you here tonight. On October 24th, you said about this situation, this is absurd. The only person who seems to have a gripe against Katie Hill is her soon-to-be ex. Who among us would look perfect if every ex leaked every photo and text? Do you believe that she was the victim of a double standard in the House?
I don't know that it is a double standard by gender. I think it's a different standard by generation. This is an issue where a lot of millennials, I think, sympathize with Katie Hill because a lot of young people who grew up with a smartphone in their hands took pictures, sent them, shared messages and materials that are now recoverable later in life. Katie Hill's problem is not with Donald Trump. I wish she had not lashed out at him. Her ire should be directed at her fellow Democrats. You know, Katie's a California Democrat. The only thing worse for a California Democrat than not having a single of your own colleagues defend you, I guess, is having only me defend you. But I don't know why the woke left wouldn't stand up for our colleague, our coworker, when the only person complaining, the only aggrieved party was Katie Hill's ex, who was releasing information to try to ruin her life.
I mean, Nancy Pelosi started to speak up on her behalf, you know, sort of when it was too late. Do you think that Nancy Pelosi nudged Katie Hill out based on this? I mean, when you look, you know, there's a lot of other stories that, you know, have some similar ring to them. And she was sort of cut out of the picture very quickly. Do you think Nancy Pelosi encouraged her to leave?
I think that there's a dynamic on the left where they want to be able to weaponize the Me Too movement so badly against Republicans that they're willing to sacrifice people like Katie Hill or Al Franken on the altar of political correctness so that they can preserve the sharpest dagger for Republicans that they don't like. And I don't think these issues should be partisan in nature. I think that if someone is trying to destroy one of your coworkers, that you should not weaponize the House ethics process against your coworker. You should sympathize with the fact that the only reason that this information is in the public square is because someone is committing the crime of revenge porn. And I just think that Nancy Pelosi, if she held those views, should have said them sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's surprising in a few ways when you look back at this story. Switching gears here for a moment, last night you mentioned Rule 23 regarding Adam Schiff. You know, do you believe that, and now you've brought an ethics complaint against him. How does all that tie together?
Well, Rule 23 of the House says that a member cannot act in a way that brings discredit on the House. And I can't think of anything more discrediting than Adam Schiff performing a fake transcript to try to get the American people's minds polluted about a conversation between Trump and Zelensky that never even happened. President Trump has released this transcript. The American people can view it for what it is. My view is that the president is innocent, but all of this secrecy is intended to try to make people think that there's something worse than what is actually right before us in plain language.
Are you going to get anywhere with that ethics complaint?
I don't know. I wanted to raise the point on the eve of this vote that vested authority in Adam Schiff that has never been vested in the chairman of an intelligence committee. It should be the Judiciary Committee developing these facts, but because Nancy Pelosi has such little trust in Jerry Nadler and because Democrats lost to Republicans with Mueller's testimony, you see a perverted process to try to front load an outcome that isn't supported by the evidence.
All right. Congressman Matt Gaetz, always good to have you here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martha.